Let's talk about, Anthony, you mentioned earlier in introduction that your experience 27 years in wireless. So can you sort of put this in context, if you will? You've done a lot of fixed wireless solutions. You worked with this technology for a lot of years. Just help us to put this 60 gigahertz Terragraph solution in context with other fixed wireless broadband.
Yeah, well, we've brought a lot of new technology to the marketplace. Some of the innovations like massive new MIMO, for example, where we're doing beamforming and beam steering. Now, what you get with 60 gigahertz is all this packed into a tiny little space, and yet it's still providing gigabits of data. So a tenth of the size, you can have a 60 gigahertz radio doing beamforming. And what's great about this, it's not just about at the access point, it's at the subscriber end as well. So you've actually now got both sides being able to do that beamforming, which means that it's easier to install and more reliably, installations can be more reliable as well.
Sorry, you have to explain that to me. How does that help? How does beam steering help installation? It sounds hard. It does. Millimeter wave. I'm sorry. I'm envisioning this sort of a small beam, and somehow you're telling me to, put that thing through the little spy hole. How are we helping the installation?
This is where I get to use my favorite acronym, the EDMG, the Enhanced Directional Multi-Gigabit Antenna. These are these tiles, and they have multiple elements in there. Now, what you do with, you can change the phase of each one of these elements. And by changing the phase of each one of these elements, you're able to form a beam, a very tight microbeam. And these beams, and you can form 112 of these beams, for example, on a single, on these tiles. And that's how you get the directionality on there. And what you would do is it will automatically do a scan. It finds out where the clients are, and it creates that beam specifically to that client. That basically reduces interference. It also gives you a lot more power. It concentrates the power to that subscriber unit. You're not flooding the whole area with a lot of noise like mesh systems used to do, where they're working on a sector basis or an omni basis. They're very directional beams to each one of those clients.